so today I'm beginning to clear this little area back here. It's gotten overgrown and I want to neaten it up and start building a garden. So I've got some tools here. Here's my rake. I've got some pruners, some clippers, and a saw because I got to take down that tree, little mini tree stump, and clear this area. We don't want to have so many trees because then it'll have too much shade. And these are young trees that have been growing up in an area. This all used to be grass. This is where my swing set used to be when I was a little kid. And as you can see, it's been overgrown. So I've got to weed back a lot of these bushes and clear it out so we have space to build our garden. So what I'm going to do is clear things.
We were trying to get our bow and arrow for revenge because of Snake, and we saw a little tiny cute bird. And now my mom is gonna make a garden, so we're the helpers.
Okay.
We're gonna go camping.
Thank you, helpers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the trimmer and the saw, hacksaw, to cut down the base. Now I've already trimmed off some of the shoots here, okay, and they're over there, and I've got a compost pile that I can put them in. So now I've gotten to this part where it's too big for me to use the clippers for. So I'm going to use the saw. So I'm just going to saw it with my trusty saw and as close to the base as I can. And then later on, we're going to have to use a pitchfork to get out the trunk or the base of this tree that has begun, because we don't want it to grow up again. We don't want the roots to impede our herb and vegetable garden. So I'm going to take this out, and this is hard work. This is when I need Mr. Lokanoff to come and help and give me a hand, or actually a electrical saw or something. Not a chainsaw, this is too small for that, but I gotta put down this phone and continue sawing on my own. Saw through most of it. And then I can just, use my foot and finish. Alexander, I need your help. Can you knock down the tree? I've sawed the base. Can you break it? There we go. Step on the branch. Step on it.
I can't, but I can push it.
Okay, now pull it back the other side. There, now you can step on it. There you go. All right, so I gotta saw the rest of it. I'll saw the rest and then we can put that in the wood pile.
Next me, Mommy.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. All right, you're gonna drag it to the wood pile, which we're gonna make.
Next my turn. I'm strong enough to break a whole tree down.
We're gonna make into a compost heap. All right, so now we cleared out those two small trees that were growing here, and now I'm trying to figure out what else I need to get rid of. And if you look at this leaf, that's maple. That's a baby maple tree growing, and maple trees are good and strong, so probably leave that one. And this is an oak. So if you look at that is an oak leaf. So this could become an oak tree, which would be very big. Now this spot, there actually was a huge oak tree when I was little, and my tire swing was hanging from it, and then one of the big storms, it blew over and has been gone for a long time. So probably leave that because that will become a very big, nice oak tree eventually. But then there are these trees right here, which are, again, I think these are more of this invasive type of tree that grows rapidly, and I probably should get rid of it. So I'm going to weed this out, and then we have a whole bunch of other weeds around here. So you see these weeds? These grow really tall, but right now they have this very pretty little white flower on it. So even though I want to clear this area, I'm probably going to leave it so that way we can look at the white flowers for a little while longer while I clean out this area. I also need to kind of figure out where I'm going to put stuff. So there's this very sharp plant here that becomes heather, and it's prickly. So I'm not sure if you can see how the sharp thorns coming out? They are a real pain to get out. I have to dig out the roots, and they do hurt, so they do go through the glove. And there's a lot of them, unfortunately. This whole area hasn't been tended very well. So, and then I've got this vine growing over here, which has kind of taken over. This whole area I had full of raspberry bushes, and this vine grew in, took over the raspberry bushes, and now I've got this weird thing. I don't even know the name of it, unfortunately, but I'm gonna have to figure out where do I cut back the vine, and where do I, now the vine's growing on that little tree too, so I've got to figure out what do I keep, what do I get rid of. All this heather has taken over too, so I've got to get rid of all of that. So I got to figure out what I'm going to put in, maybe just some grass seed or some wildflowers, and where I'm going to put the herb garden and the vegetables. All right, so this area, it's all overgrown as well, but see these are the weeds that have the white flowers, but this is what looks like after the winter. So these were the ones from last year, and they're all over this area, and they need to be pulled out. Okay, so this, I'm going to pull all of those out. And this is what it looks like after the winter, the weed I just showed you with the white flower. Okay, so right here we have a maple sapling growing up in the middle of the forsythia bush. And we have another problem because over here we have a wild grapevine taking over this as well. Now, I don't recall this vine actually producing any grapes, so I'm not going to get rid of it completely, but I do want to get it out of the forsythia bush, otherwise it's going to kill it. So as you can see, it's really tangled up, and when it grabs hold, it literally like wraps around the host in order to hold on. So see this? That's the grapevine wrapping around the forsythia bush, and it ends up strangling the bush, and then it'll kill it. So I've got to take my clippers and get rid of this invasive vine, because this forsythia bush has been here for like 50 years. My dad had this house since the 1950s, so we got to get rid of this because I don't want the bush to be killed. All right, so I need 2 hands to cut that. So I'll come back in a couple of minutes and show you what else I've been doing. See, again, here we have this all tangled up web of vine over the forsythia. I got to untangle that and get it off. Okay, so it's slow going. I don't want to kill the forsythia, and so I got to go slow. Another thing I want to show you is, you see these unfortunate brown leaves on the forsythia? There's a lot of brown leaves all over, and that is because there was a frost. There was a day in May where there was actually snow here, that very cold Saturday in May with snow, and it frosted and zapped the plants. So we've got a lot of these dead leaves. These poor leaves were killed on that frost, and I don't know if you can tell over there, but those linden trees also, they've got a lot of dying leaves on it. So, see all these? So, not that I have time to do this on every branch, but it's a good idea to get rid of these dead leaves. So this obviously takes a long time to do all of this.